Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic's me more of a casual video. We are going to talk about the Atlas strategy that I've been working on over the past few days now to get some currency. Because what happened was I finished my current character. I put about 12 divines in it. I got through the entire Atlas, got my Atlas tree set up, got my watchstones, all that, all on this character on 12 divs. And as soon as I got to the point where I could clear T16s very smoothly and kill bosses, I stopped investing. As you can tell, I only have like a 5-link Cloak of Flame, don't even have a 6-link bow, and that is mainly because I wanted to make currency for the next build because I had a really wonderful idea that I will disclose at a future date. Now, of course, we made about 50 divines in about under 2 days. So what we were doing is we were doing Alkengo harvest plus the league mechanic. So after a lot of testing and stuff and paying attention to what harvest mobs get what empowerment, from what I've seen so far, the the yellow empowerment, the one that gives you more quant, it doesn't seem like as though it actually works on harvest mobs. Now, it might be like a very small 10 to 20% more item quantity. I have no absolute idea how it actually works. I don't know if it actually works on harvest mobs or not. I don't know if it works on the seeds, but they definitely get empowered. Now, my build's strong enough to deal with these monsters very easily, but like it's still not really worth your time, in my opinion, to do the league mechanic to just boost your harvest monsters. Now, if you were to do something like, expedition on top of it, it might be worth it, but it's definitely not worth it to do on a solo harvest strategy that I'm doing. I could have made significantly more currency if I would have done some tweaking on my tree and went for something like expedition on top of the harvest. But I wanted to see how efficient it would have been to empower your harvest monsters for extra seeds. So at the end of everything, I had about 50k of each seed around, and it was like about 2 days of farming. And you're just wondering, that's not really that much. Well, it actually is, because I did not buy sextants. I don't have ways of guaranteeing harvest. So all of this harvest juice is complete profit. I didn't spend a single penny on any of this juice. So it was pure profit. And I think it was like well over like 30 divines in total or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I did go ahead and I actually used the yellow juice to craft a tab of jewels that I'm going to be selling eventually. I'm not going to show them because otherwise you guys will try to, monopolize my market. But that was another like 20, like it was like 15 divines you're not seeing here because I was actually using it instead of selling it because yellow juice is really cheap right now. So I was like, screw it, why not, right? But yeah, let me show you the strategy. Essentially, TLDR, we're just doing the normal Atlas strategy with the extra effect. We're using growing hordes for extra, pack size. I didn't even do my Legion thing to get the 5 slots. I didn't feel like I needed it. And I'm also grabbing all the harvest nodes, and I'm grabbing all the map nodes and ping-ponging between specifically Mesa and Jungle. Mesa, because you can get to the boss very quickly, kill it, so that, it doesn't pollute the altar pool, right? And then, of course, Jungle Valley, the boss never spawns, which does not pollute the altar pool at all. Now, the reason why we want that is because we want the altars to get quantity, which then we put on the map, we clear the map, then all that quantity can affect our harvest and give us more drops. And of course, my plan was to run the league mechanic to affect the harvest mobs even more. But like I said, it was barely like a 10 to 20% more boost, if anything at all. If I'm not mistaken, from all the testing that I've done, it's a very small amount, not enough to like merit it for your normal build. Like I said, my build can handle it, but at the same time, there were some times where like it was a little annoying. Like for instance, you get like a triple empowered devourer and you had like 2 chonk mods on the map. So it was definitely not worth it in the end. Now, running the league mechanic though was very profitable, in fact, because you can go vendor hunting for charms, or of course you can find corpses to sell all the specters, right? So actually doing the league mechanic is worth it. Doing it just to empower harvest is not worth it. So what I was doing is I was beelining for the yellow juice underground, and you shouldn't do that. What you should do is beeline purple juice. or B line for blue juice, because blue juice not only converts stuff into currency when it empowers enemies, right? It also, of course, leads you to the charm vendor, which you really want to be getting right constantly. And the purple juice, it gives you rarity, which is like whatever, but it leads you to the corpse vendor, which you can get some corpses very quickly to sell for a bunch of divines easily, because a lot of Spectre players, they want to be using it right now. So I'm just going to show you what I do normally for a map. We're going to show you some gameplay here. So not to keep you keep you waiting here. Let's actually go in game. So like I said, so for Mesa, what I do is I go to the boss first. I think I either go to the boss first or I do the mechanic. I've been doing the mechanic of late because my build has gotten strong enough that I can do the mechanic. So of course, we follow the dust. Now, of course, when I was trying to do the quant strategy with harvest, I was only focusing on yellow. I would mainly try to find yellow first and then purple and blue afterwards, right? So like for instance here, I just follow the purple line until I'd find more yellow line. Like right here, I'd follow the yellow line, kill stuff as I go through. I'd go faster if it wasn't for this. I usually skip the Scourge one because the Scourge one is just kind of a waste of time, and I've only gotten like one fusing out of all of the Scourges I've done. So it's not really worth it. So we're just going to follow the blue juice here. It's not really worth your time, at least in my opinion. Even with my damage, it's still not worth your time because it takes forever. You can be doing way more maps in that time. So of course, follow the juice as hard as you can. Try to find everything, right? So like for instance here, charm vendor. Charm vendor is really strong. You want to have your tool here. See, that one isn't worth it. 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 I've had charms sell for 5 to 10 divines already by using this strategy, so it's definitely worth just going in there, trying to find your charm vendors and all that, and moving on. Of course, we lost the trail here. I'm trying to find the trail again. I'm like partially colorblind, so sometimes a little annoying. Now, what I do after this is I go and kill the boss. Now, the boss might be empowered, might be ghosted. It's fine. It takes a few seconds sometimes, depending on the actual mob stuff. So, for instance, he's possessed and double empowered, so he's actually going to take a little while, but it's fine. I've actually had a few divines drop just from killing the empowered bosses, which is pretty cool. Like, they usually drop a lot of loot most of the time when you get double empowered and stuff. And then what I do is I go and clear the map. I clear the entire map, and every single time I see a quant altar, I will click on said quant altar to get all the extra quant, right? And I was hoping that that would be insanely multiplicative with all of the extra quant from, of course, the down below. But the down below, the vivid empowerment seems to be very low in terms of actual value. So unless if you're Giga super juicing in like a 6-man party and going crazy, it didn't seem to be that big of a difference. Now, I've gotten a lot of drops just from just generic like empowerment. So like for instance, like I'll just be killing enemies and I'll see like a screen full of like scarabs. I actually sold my scarab tab for like 4 div earlier. So like you can get a lot of drops just by empowering the enemies normally. It's just like it's kind of like Sentinel in that way. Not as potent, but it's definitely up there in terms of potency. Now, of course, like I said, we're going to clear the map. Try to get all of the altars done first. I've not gotten a single divine altar. I'm very sad about that. In Crucible League, I think I got 5 divine altars the entire time. And no, actually, I think it was at 7 at the end of the league for Crucible. And not a single one so far after doing this many maps, but it's like whatever, right? Yeah, like I said, we're just going to kill everything. Try to make sure everything is clear. I'd be going way faster if I like didn't really care about like loot and stuff here. Usually I'd be doing like screens away, and like I'd make sure I'd look at my mini map and make sure I actually pick up the altars when they spawn, which is very quick, right? Here you go, another altar. This doesn't have anything. So the strategy with altars is if it doesn't have a modifier that you like for instance, either Grand Ichors or like quantity or something like that, I usually just leave it. The reason why is because if I go to the end of the map and I get a divine altar, right? Well, it would suck because I wouldn't have anything to use the divine altar on. But if we save the altars for later, right? If we get a divine altar later, we at least get some divines out of the trade. Now, of course, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Uh, so blue juice has been the most expensive so far, so I usually go for blue juice. I haven't been doing the upgrading yet because I wanted like some consistent results here. All right, here we go. Okay, primal empowered, so he's not going to drop anything extra in theory. But the problem is, it seems like as though the harvest monsters they have a random like number generator determining how much they actually drop. So here you go. Here's another one. But yeah, so that was 90, right? With no primal, I mean with no vivid empowerment, right? Now we're just waiting for the next one. Okay, that's triple empowered. It's going to be a little scary, but it's triple empowered, right? Now we're going to pay attention, okay? The last guy dropped 90, right? That guy dropped 84, but he was triple empowered. You see the problem here? The numbers, and this one dropped 101, right? So either the quant isn't affecting the harvest seeds, which I'm pretty sure is the case, or it's such a negligible amount that the RNG, oh god damn it, sometimes that will happen, especially when you're a build like mine, when you're only worried about evasion. Come on. Yeah, this is like, especially if they're like double empowered and stuff, they can get a little scary. I can handle it for the most part, especially when everything gets set up. Yeah, that one's like wild empowered, right? Like 87, right? That's about as much as like the vivid empowerment guy got. So I'm pretty sure, without a shadow of the doubt, either it is not affecting them or it's not affecting them in such a way that it matters. So that's a little sad. I'm surprised at how little it's actually affecting my harvest monsters. If you guys have experience with farming harvest without like the dupe sextant and all that, please tell me down below and what your thoughts and opinions on this matter are. But so far, my opinion is it's not really worth it just to do this. Now, of course, if we went and did expedition and empowered them and stuff like that, your build can handle it, it'd be worth it. But just doing harvest alone to try to juice it up like this, I don't think it's worth it. Now, of course, this was a very, very good endeavor, like very profitable endeavor, obviously, as it always is, but not as profitable as I thought it was going to be. Mainly just because, because the vivid empowerment not working. Now, of course, sometimes you won't get vivid, yada yada yada, stuff like that. But like at the same time, I should be able to see like an actual difference between empowered and not. Obviously, these guys have no stuff on them. There you go. But they definitely become loot pinatas though. Like the actual rares definitely become loot pinatas. So it's not like a waste of your time. It's just more like, why am I doing this? When I could be doing something else. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Been the strategy. Got like 50 divines. I think almost 60 actually. But I'm going to put 50 divines in the title and stuff in like the past 2 days. And I'm going to play my next build. Now, with all that being said, this has been Dread. I'll have to go do something else. Bye. I'll have the Atlas planner down below, of course. Bye.